Hare Krishna, Jaya Jagannath. Welcome everyone to our daily smile Srimad Bhagavatam Sankirtan Yajna. Sankirtan is the glorification of the Lord together, and we're doing that each day for the benefit of our community, for those that we haven't even met yet, and always for the pleasure of the Lord. Thank you so much for being here. We'll get right into our prayers for the auspicious service. We've lit the flame. Om Krividam Agnim Prihanomi Duram Yamarajam Gachtu Vipravaha. The blessings of Lord Yamaraj, Lord of Dharma. Prayers to the spiritual master. Om Migandimarandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranmaitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my spiritual master so kindly opened my darkened eyes with the salve of love. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Put 3x here, times 3. Please sing along when we do these prayers. They're very powerful. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. O my Lord, Sri Krishna, son of Vasudeva, O all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narotamam devim sarasvatim vyasam tato jayamudirayat. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead, Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Sarasvati, the goddess of learning, and to Sri Vyasadeva, the author. Nashtapreya Shabreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Ashoke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, whose praise with transcendental songs is established as an irrevocable fact. Always doing this for the pleasure of Sri Jagannath, and under the shelter of Lord Nrsimhadeva, Sudarshana Chakra, Sri Maha Lakshmi Mata, for our SMYHL Sanga members, for our community, and those who are meant to be part of the SMYHL Sanga, who we haven't even met yet. Hare Krishna. Okay, let's go. Oops. We'll switch the sharing here on our YouTube to our Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, so we're continuing today with verse 1 of Canto 1, Chapter 1, entitled Questions by the Sages. Here's the verse of the day. O my Lord, Sri Krishna, son of Vyasadeva, all-pervading person of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. I meditate upon Lord Sri Krishna because he is the absolute truth and the primeval cause of all causes of the creation, sustenance, and destruction of the manifested universes. He is directly and indirectly conscious of all manifestations, and he is independent because there is no other cause beyond him. It is he only who imparted the Vedic knowledge unto the heart of Brahmaji, the original living being. By him even the great sages and demigods are placed into illusion, as one is bewildered by the illusionary representation of water seen in fire, land seen on water. Water seen in fire, and land seen on water. Only because of him do the material universes temporarily manifested by the reactions of the three modes of nature appear factual, although they are unreal. I therefore meditate upon him Lord Sri Krishna, who is eternally existent in the transcendental abode, which is forever free from illusory representation of the material world. I meditate upon him, for he is the absolute truth. So this is our fourth part of this verse, because Srila Prabhupada has given us so much in this purport, right? And we've taken some time going through it. It's we go deep into the Srimad Bhagavatam and let it really enter our life. This is a literary incarnation of the Lord. So it's literally we're associating with the Supreme Personality. It's quite magnificent that we get this opportunity. It's the sum and bonum of all Vedic literatures. So we're right here on this paragraph. Srila Prabhupada's purport, Jai. Conditioned souls, beginning with Brahma, who engineers the entire universe, down to the insignificant ant, are all creating. But none of them are independent of the Supreme Lord. The materialist wrongly thinks there is no creator other than his own self. This is called Maya or illusion. Because of the poor fund of knowledge, the materialist cannot see beyond the preview of his imperfect senses, and thus he thinks that matter automatically takes its own shape without the aid of a superior intelligence. This is referred in the shloka by Sri Vyasadeva. Since the complete whole, or the absolute truth, is the source of everything, nothing can be independent of the body of the absolute truth. Whatever happens to the body quickly becomes known to the embodied. Similarly, creation is the body of the absolute whole. Therefore, the absolute knows everything directly and indirectly that happens in the creation. So this is called illusion. The materialist wrongly thinking that there's no creator. So Maya or illusion is thinking that something is separate than the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that is separate than Krishna. And that even includes wrongly thinking that there's no Krishna or God at all. And so often we ask how to become happy in this lifetime. And it's actually very simple. It's not easy because our hearts like to be very complicated and our minds like to complicate things. But it's as simple as when we connect anything to the Supreme Lord, then that becomes spiritual. Anything that is separate from him, done for any other reason other than for his pleasure or in thinking of him, is Maya or illusion. One path takes us to happiness, and one path takes us to frustration. Can you guess which one is which? You might have an idea, huh? Yeah, the spiritual energy, the spiritual path of connecting everything to the Lord is that path which makes us happy. Continuing in the Shruti mantra, it is also stated that the absolute whole, or Brahma, is the ultimate source of everything. Everything emanates from him, and everything is maintained by him. And at the end, everything enters into him. That is the law of nature. In the Shruti mantra, the same is confirmed. It is said that the source from which everything emanates at the beginning of Brahma's millennium, and the reservoir to which everything ultimately enters, is the absolute truth, or Brahman. Material scientists take it for granted that the ultimate source of the planetary system is the sun, but they are unable to explain the source of the sun, wherein the ultimate source is explained. According to the Vedic literatures, Brahma, who may be compared to the sun, is not the ultimate creator. It is stated in the shloka that Brahma was taught Vedic knowledge by the personality of Godhead. One may argue that Brahma, being the original living being, cannot be inspired because there was no other being living at the time, wherein it is stated that the Supreme inspired the secondary creator Brahma in order that Brahma could carry out his creative functions. So the Supreme Intelligence behind all creations is the absolute Godhead, Sri Krishna. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna states that it is he only who superintends the creative energies, Prakriti, which constitutes the totality of matter. Therefore, Sri Vyasadeva does not worship Brahma. but the Supreme Lord, who guides Brahma in the creative activities. In this sloka, the particular word abhijna or savrat are significant. These two words distinguish the Supreme Lord from all other living entities. No other living entity is either abhijna or svarat. That is, no one is either fully contingent or fully independent. Even Brahma has to meditate upon the Supreme Lord in order to create. Then what to speak of great scientists like Einstein? The brain of such a scientist is certainly not the product of any human being. Scientists cannot manufacture such a brain, and what to speak of foolish atheists who defy the authority of the Lord? Even Mayavadi impersonalists who flatter themselves that they can become one with the Lord are neither abhijna or svarat. Such impersonalists undergo severe austerities to acquire knowledge to become one with the Lord, but ultimately they become dependent on some rich disciple who supplies them with money to build monasteries and temples. Atheists like Ravana or Hiranyakashipu had to undergo severe penances before they could flout the authority of the Lord, but ultimately they were rendered helpless and could not save themselves when the Lord appeared before them as cruel death. This is also the case of the modern atheists, who also dare to flout the authority of the Lord. Such atheists will be dealt with similarly, for history repeats itself. Whenever man neglects the authority of the Lord, nature and her laws are there to penalize them. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 4.7 in the well-known verse Yada Yada Hi Dharmasya Galanihi. Whenever there is a decline in Dharma and rise in Adharma, O Arjuna, then I incarnate myself. So, we're hearing from Srila Prabhupada that there is a creator of this universe, Lord Brahma. And he has such a magnificent power to create this universe and the ingredients within it, right? And when we see somebody with great power, quite often we have the desire to turn them into God. This must be God, right? Even in this world, people do some magic, some mystical things, and people are willing to accept them as God. But Krishna dealt with this in the Bhagavad Gita. He was asked by Arjuna to show his universal form. And the Acharyas explain that one of the purposes for this was that when somebody comes to flaunt themselves as the Supreme Person, then they can be asked to show or reveal their universal form. And of course, the only person who can reveal a universal form is the Supreme Lord. So we need to be careful of two things that are explained in this verse: to make gods of those who are not the Supreme Lord. We appreciate Lord Brahma. We appreciate the people, the entities, the demigods who have so many positions to help govern, right? So if the representative of the president comes to your house, you show them great respect. So similarly, a representative of the Lord, like Lord Brahma or Indra or so many different demigods, we show them great amount of respect because they have this wonderful service and they're connected to the Supreme. But we shouldn't be bewildered by their great, magnificent power, that they are the Supreme. Second is the warning of the Mayavadi impersonalists. Some people become so frustrated with material life because the nature of material that they want everything to be zero. Okay, I'm trying to become happy, I have desires, I'm trying to meet them, and ultimately I'm becoming frustrated to the point where I become depressed, I become confused, frustrated. And so the answer must be that if I don't desire, or if I become one with the Lord, then everything will be taken care of. But that's what Srila Prabhupada explains as making things zero. And really the nature of the soul is not to make things zero. It's actually to make things positive. So we're encouraged to create to develop a loving relationship with the Lord that is positive. People want relationships. People want to have their beloved. People want their children. They want their spouse, their friends, their grandparents. Relationship is natural. We tend to try to extract from our relationships the ultimate happiness, and this often leads to frustration, not because it's not understandable, but because the people that would like to fill the role of an ultimate relationship don't have the capacity, and it's not fair to them. Krishna has the full capacity to give us the relationship that not to give, to have. We already have that relationship, and so we need to turn for it. And he has the capacity to give us everything that we're looking for in a relationship. So we should develop that relationship. Turn to him. Let's continue. The Supreme Lord is all perfect. That the Supreme Lord is all perfect is confirmed in the Shruti mantras. It is said in the Shruti mantras that the all-perfect Lord threw the glance over matter and thus created all living beings. The living beings are parts and parcels of the Lord, and he impregnates the vast material creation with seeds of spiritual sparks. And thus, the creative energies are set in motion to enact so many wonderful creations. An atheist may argue that God is no more expert than a watchmaker. But of course, God is greater because he can create machines and duplicate male and female forms. The male and female form of different types of machineries go on producing innumerable similar machines without God's further attention. If a God could manufacture such a set of machines that could produce other machines without his attention, then he could approach the intelligence of God. But that is not possible, for each machine has to be handled individually. Therefore, no one can create as well as God. Another name for God is Asmordva, which means that no one is equal or greater than him. Param Satyam, or the Supreme Truth, is he has no equal or superior. This is confirmed in the Shruti mantras. It is stated that before the creation of the material universe, there existed the Lord only, who is the master of everyone. The Lord instructed Brahma in Vedic knowledge. The Lord has to be obeyed in all respects. Anyone who wants to get rid of material entanglement must surrender unto him. This is also confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. One point that's important here is to understand that the Supreme Person is God. And we call him Krishna, Jagannath, Lord Ram, Yahweh, Jehovah, Allah. So many names in this world for the Lord. It's actually said that the Lord has infinite names. That one with hundreds of mouths going on for thousands of years, always saying a new name of the Lord, would not exhaust all the names of the Lord. So, whoa, So, when we have a poor fund of knowledge, we tend to think that these different religions and different approaches to the Lord are competing with one another. But God can't be God when there's competition. However, we understand that the Lord shows himself in different manners to attract people, to attract his children back to him. So the example is given The sun in North America, in the English language, is called the sun, right? In South America, it's Sol. And then in India, it's Sur. And there's so many different languages with different names for the sun. And even within different cultures, they see the sun in a different way, Some cultures often think of a personality when they connect with the sun. Like, for instance, we also often say Mother Earth. There's a personality connected to Earth, which is, her name is Bhumi. And so different cultures have this different perspective of the sun and different names of them. But if I was to say that my sun is real and your sun is fake, then it's kind of ridiculous, because we all know that there's one sun. Everybody, whether we name the sun different or not. So similarly, God, who has different names and different ways of approaching him through different religions and different yoga, is the same person, just showing himself in a different way. Because people are different. People are attracted by different things. Some people, so many different things. Some people like chocolate ice cream. Some people like vanilla ice cream. Some people don't like ice cream at all. So Krishna is, the Supreme Lord is very kind in giving people many different flavors and different ways of approaching him. Unless one surrenders unto the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, it is certain that he will be bewildered. When an intelligent man surrenders unto the lotus feet of Krishna, he knows completely that Krishna is the cause of all causes, as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. Then only can such an intelligent man become Mahatma, or great soul. But such a great soul is rarely seen. Only Mahatmas can understand that the Supreme Lord is primeval cause of all creations. This is the param, or ultimate truth, because all other truths are relative to him. He is omniscient. For him there is no illusion. Some Mayavadi scholars argue that Srimad Bhagavatam was not compiled by Sri Vyasadeva, and some of them suggest that the book is a modern creation written by someone named Vapavadeva. In order to refute such meaningless arguments, Sri Sridhar Swami points out that there is a reference to the Bhagavatam in many of the oldest Puranas. The first sloka of the Bhagavatam begins with the Gayatri mantra. There is reference to this in the Matsya Purana, which is the oldest Purana. In that Purana, it is said that, with reference to the Gayatri mantra in the Bhagavatam, that there are many narrations of spiritual instructions beginning with the Gayatri mantra. And there is a history of Vitrasura. Anyone who makes a gift of this great work on a full moon day attains the highest perfection of life by returning to Godhead. There is reference to the Bhagavatam and other Puranas also, where it is clearly stated the work was finished in 12 cantos, which include 18,000 slokas. In the Padma Puran, also, there's a reference to the Bhagavatam in a conversation between Gautama and Maharaj Ambrish. The king was advised therein to read regularly Srimad Bhagavatam if he desires liberation from material bondage. Under the circumstance, there is no doubt that the authority of Bhagavatam. Within the past 500 years, many root scholars and acharyas like Jiva Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, Vishwanatha Chakravarti, Vallabhacharya, and many other distinguished scholars, even after the time of Lord Chaitanya, made elaborate commentaries on the Bhagavatam, and the serious student would do well to attempt to go through to better relish the transcendental message. So, Srila Prabhupada is here stating the authority of Srimad Bhagavatam. And in so many cases in this material world, there's always naysayers and there's always yay-sayers, right? People are always making different arguments for this way or that way. And so Srila Prabhupada is taking the stand of what the authority of Srimad Bhagavatam is. And it's just so many people have approached Srimad Bhagavatam with an open mind and open heart and a desire to understand it, a desire to see what it's about without blind faith and try to understand it. And they come out with such an experience that Bhagavatam is a living book. It lives within you. It becomes so much more than we can even imagine. You'll hear devotees who read Srimad Bhagavatam regularly, that they have just so many wonderful things happening in their life, where the lessons, the stories of Srimad Bhagavatam show up in their life on a daily basis, more than daily, sometimes several times throughout the day. I know I've experienced also that I read something from Srimad Bhagavatam, and then it either solidifies something that I've been curious about or pondering or had difficulties with, and you read it and you're like, there it is right there. It also, reading it, encourages, gives clarity to my position, to our position, and to our service, how we move about. And so many ways this Srimad Bhagavatam a living in our life. If anybody thinks it's a normal text, then they would be thinking wrong. And I would encourage them to give this a read through at least the first 2 cantos and see what it does in their life. We have the last 2 paragraphs. Let's finish this and then, Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur especially deals with original and pure sex ecology, Adi Ras, devoid of all mind inebriety. The whole material creation is moving under the principle of sex life. In modern civilization, sex life is the focal point of all activities. Whenever one turns his face, he sees sex life phenomenon. Therefore, sex life is not unreal. Its reality is experienced in the spiritual world. The material sex life is but a perverted reflection of the original fact. The original fact is that the absolute truth is in the absolute truth, and thus the absolute truth cannot be impersonal. It is not possible for the impersonal, and it is not possible to be impersonal and contain pure sex life. Consequently, the impersonalist philosophers have given indirect impetus to the abdominal mundane sex life because they have overstressed the impersonality of the ultimate truth. Consequently, man, without information of the actual spiritual form of sex, has accepted perverted material sex as an all in all. There's a distinction between sex life, and diseased material condition, and spiritual sex life. Well, I mean, heck, it's the biggest money-producing producer of all things is pornography, and because people are so interested in it, we see that it can become an addiction for people. So the ultimate material gratification is sex. It's and in this material world, sex is often meant to be the pleasure of oneself. It may take somebody else to do it, not all the time, if you know, anyways. But the question is often asked, what will I get out of this? And pure sex life is that we're only interested in the pleasure of the Supreme. It's quite a subject that is meant to be built up to understand. And so, as it's said, we read through the Srimad Bhagavatam and get clarity more and more and more until we get to a point of a 10th canto where we can understand subjects like this, where we can, Srila Prabhupada is making these statements that material sex life, and spiritual sex life, and we're trying to understand them from the point of view of where we're coming from. And we're conditioned. We make mistakes. We have misunderstandings. We are illusioned. It's natural in this material world that we don't see things clearly, right? But how do we see things clearly? Well, we learn from a person who can see clearly. So we learn from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada, and we get a vision that becomes clear. And so then we can understand phrases like this. We can get a strong understanding. Okay, last paragraph. The Srimad Bhagavatam will gradually elevate the unbiased reader to the highest perfection stage of transcendence. It will enable him to transcend the three modes of material activities: fruit of action, speculative philosophy, and worship of functional deities as included in the Vedic verses. Okay, this is the first verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Srila Prabhupada has so wonderfully purported it. If you have any questions, we have on our SMYHL website, SMYHL.com, an area called Ask a Brahmin. And you can fill out a form and ask any questions. So sometimes some people can't watch our live stream, but they can watch this recording, and the opportunity to ask questions and get clarity can be done through this. Here, let me go to smile.com. I'm going to share it right here. And on the very bottom, right here, is Ask a Brahmana. Brahmana is like a priest or a pastor, Vedic priest, a trained Vedic priest and spiritual guide. You can click this. Very simple. Full name, email, so that we can respond to. If you can put your phone number in, if you want. I believe this is optional. If not, I'm going to switch it. And then you can ask your question, and you'll get a response. And by the way, if we ask questions about Srimad Bhagavatam, we can bring them up in next sessions, and we can talk about them more. So that's an opportunity for you all. Thank you all very much. Jaya Jagannath, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Everybody have a wonderful Krishna conscious day. Thank you so very much. Hare Krishna.